This is a 2015 Maserati Granturismo Sport convertible. What could possibly go wrong? When this thing first came out, it costed $155,000. And now you can get one of these for right around $30,000 to $40,000. Now I decided to go with probably the most desirable spec. The convertibles are more expensive, otherwise known as the Grand Cabrio. This red color is arguably the best that they offer, and the interior, you'll see that in a second, is probably the best interior that goes with this color. Now under this hood, as you may know, is the Ferrari-derived 4.7 liter V8. The best sounding V8 you can possibly get your hands on. Argue with me in the comments because you're gonna lose. But the key word right there was Ferrari-derived engine. Everything under here is so expensive to fix that you could actually buy a used car with the repair costs that this thing has. And speaking of repair costs, I did not do a pre-purchase inspection. I did not even see the car when I bought it. If you ever feel stupid, just give this channel a visit because you'll probably feel like the most intelligent person on the planet after I just did this. Now, reason why I did this is because the car was all the way out in Arizona. I figured this thing was reasonably priced at $41,000, and probably worst of all is the fact that I trusted a used car salesman. Let's talk about the problems. First things first, I specifically asked the sales guy, are there any leaks at all? I know for a fact that the Granturismos have a known problem with the valve cover gaskets, and guess what? He said no. The first item on the inspection report was a valve cover gasket oil leak. That's around $2,000 to fix. Now, next up on this list, and more of this to come, there is a whine whenever I accelerate. Now, I have not actually diagnosed this problem, but it sounds like it's either gonna be the belt or possibly the alternator. I called into a service place in Charlotte, North Carolina, for those of you that know where I live, and I asked, hey, how much does it cost to get a new alternator? Just, curious. And they said $4,800 to get it and to install it. What? I'll be honest, I knew what I was signing up for when I got this thing, but I did loads of research on these cars, and the amount of praise that past owners have on these cars is insane. You'll hear everywhere how reliable these engines are, and this one has the ZF German automatic transmission, a transmission that needs very little maintenance and is pretty much bulletproof. But there's a lot more to the car than just the engine and the transmission, and well, that's what I figured out pretty quickly. So those are the two obvious problems that I'm aware of with what's under this hood. But again, it's not just what's under this hood. There's more in the interior and elsewhere. And can we take a second to actually acknowledge how absolutely beautiful this car is? Name a better looking car for the $40,000 price range. I'll make an entire video breaking down the whole financial situation about it, because I'm sure if you're anywhere close to my age, this is an absolute dream car to own. It's just the maintenance costs. I can afford the car, but can I afford to own it? Yeah, I don't know about that. Now, the reason why I actually got this thing should be pretty straightforward. They are extremely rare. They are extremely beautiful. They're pretty fast for what they are. And again, they have the most exotic exhaust note from a V8 I've ever heard in my life. Now, I will do an entire breakdown and review of the car, but looking at the front of this, there is almost zero imperfections with it. There are like two very, very tiny paint chips, which I guarantee you can't even spot from the screen you're looking at right now. And I feel like that maybe reflects the quality of how this car was taken care of, but it also sat for a year, and I'm the owner that took it after sitting for a year. Now, here's the next issue. Now, this one isn't really like a problem, but it's something that I'm gonna have to address pretty soon. First of all, the brake calipers are extremely faded, so they do not look that good at all. Don't worry, that's only about $1,000. The brake pads in the front only have 20% life left, which means that's gonna be another few $100s. Some of this stuff, I have no choice but to do my own personal maintenance on this, and I've never worked on a car before. And this is Italian. We're gonna see how that goes. Now, the brakes in the back are in pretty much perfect condition, and so is the entire side profile of this car. It is so beautiful. The front's probably the best looking in my opinion, but I mean, this thing exterior-wise is in damn near perfect condition. Even all four wheels are in literally mint condition, not a single sign of wear on them, and all four tires have been replaced as well. So back brakes are taken care of, front are not, but all four tires are looking pretty good. Oh, and here's a fun one. Guess how much it costs to replace the fabric for the convertible? $3,500. Thankfully, this one is in almost perfect condition, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. But if anything goes wrong with the convertible function or the fabric, That's pretty much another used car. Every little piece of maintenance on this thing is basically a used car. And it looks like my bad luck is actually already starting with this car because I got back home and realized the audio cut halfway through. But hey, it's another excuse to drive this thing, and trust me, there are no shortages of excuses with wanting to take this thing out. Now, the back end of this looks just as clean as the rest of the car. I will say I'm not really a fan of the back end angle. The only thing that's really cool here is the nice Maserati spelled out and then the exhaust tips. And take a listen to how these sound. Now, another thing that's very, very scary about owning this car is how much of this stuff is electronic for no reason. For example, to open the trunk, that's electronic. To open the door handle, you have to press an electronic button. They did include a manual switch on the door handle in case it does break, but still, that's just scary. Now, before we take a look at the interior of this car, I do want to start off by saying I didn't really care how well the interior held up, although it might actually kind of surprise you. I just cared that the exhaust note sounded as good as it does, the engine works, and the transmission is fine. So first and foremost, this door panel is in almost perfect condition. There's a little bit of dirt on here. I'm sure that could be cleaned up. Again, I just got this car, so bear with me here. Door handle, I don't know, that kind of looks a little bit suspicious, and if this breaks, which Lord knows, you know, it very well could, that's probably about $500. The door sill here is in perfect condition, as well as the seats. I mean, 9-year-old car, 40,000 miles, only a little bit of creasing in the leather here. That is really nice, and by the way, this leather is unbelievable quality. This also has the Maserati logos on the top of all the headrests inside of the car here on the seats. That is awesome. Now let's go ahead and hop in here. And as I mentioned, this is the ideal color combination. This is the cream interior with the carbon fiber on here as well. You get some on the center console. And I don't care that this car has horrible technology. In fact, let's go ahead and turn the car on real quick and you'll see. So first things first, you are welcomed by the horrible technology because it is literally an old school key, which honestly, I kind of like that. No push to start in here. So let's go ahead and turn the ignition. Greeted with that glorious exhaust note, of course. And yeah, we are having some very serious engine problem. I'm just kidding. That check engine light will stay on and check the whole system. You just pray that it goes away after 15 seconds. Oh, okay. Every time it's like I'm watching my net worth about to literally collapse. That is not very fun looking at that. It's never stayed on though, which is good. In this interior, I went to open the glove box. I pulled down the glove box, normally, didn't do it hard, and this just fell off. So there's no access to the glove box. Who needs a glove box anyway? I mean, I genuinely, I don't care. Again, as long as the whole drivetrain works well, we're good. I'm also noticing a little bit of pops when I drive. It's not like that bad, but any noises whatsoever, any creaks, anything whatsoever is very scary for me because of how much I've invested into this car, and I'm in no position to do so. Now, in the center console here, we also have the convertible button here, which we'll put that down in just a second, and back seats are looking amazing. I'll really save all the specifics for when I do a full review on this car, but let's go ahead and put the convertible down and see how that does. Now, as I mentioned, the fabric on the top costs too much for me to ever even touch, and I don't want to know how much it costs to fix any motor issues with the convertible, but it does appear to be working very nicely. Looks like quite the complicated mechanism though. I'll take it. Here is what this car looks like with the top down. In unpopular opinion, this is more beautiful than a Lamborghini Huracan. I cannot think of a better looking car. I am dead serious. And I just got to do a little mini walk around. You can probably hear the engine fan going, so that sounds very healthy. And the idle on this thing sounds almost perfect. And oh, those Maserati logos in the headrest just look absolutely beautiful. Guys, let me know what you think about this car. I know I'm stupid, but it is what it is. The next video you're gonna see on this channel with this car is of course gonna be a POV drive so you can listen to that glorious sounding V8. Let me know what else you guys wanna see with this car. Of course, I'll do a whole financial breakdown because I'm sure many of you guys who are my age wanna know how this is possible. And at the end of the day, hard work, but there's more to talk about than that. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.